But our new GTU, it was 4 or 5 months in the making. One of the main features that our GTU is essentially designed for full liveaboard, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It's designed that for customers that aren't towing a camper trailer or a caravan behind them. They want to go off-road, off-grid.
Yep.
Self-supporting, that's what it's designed for.
Yep. So, and a lot of the time these days with COVID-19, we're finding heaps of customers, because everybody's stuck in Australia and they can't travel overseas, their caravan parks you can't get into.
Yeah.
Free camps you're struggling to get into. So we have a lot of customers that are selling their caravan, you know, trading up and going to a full liveaboard vehicle that's got everything.
Yeah.
So a few keys, I guess, with our GTU model. I know from our side with the design, the bench height was paramount, because that was one area that we failed dramatically with our original GTU model, was the bench height, you know, with our pull-out kitchen being 200mm tall, it's 200mm above the canopy floor. Now, that starts to become an issue when you talk about lifted cars, even on something like a Ranger, for example, with a 2-inch lift and a set of 285s on it, it really does become an issue.
It does, especially if you're not tall like me.
Yeah.
I mean, on camera I look tall.
Yeah.
But
stools are the same height.
Yeah, stools the same height, so we're all good. But yeah, speaking on that, the bench height does help, especially for customers. Normally, most people's wives are shorter than their partners, and you know, you see it all the time, especially customers that come through.
Yep.
They're always the same. They're like, oh, you know, how high is my car going to be, and how high is the canopy going to sit? And it's like, well, it's not actually going to be that bad once you open up the canopy and show them that the floor height is actually at a working height.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't seem to have any dramas.
And the main thing with the GTU was, yeah, bench height. That was critical with the design team and our engineers, was to keep that bench height as low as we possibly could.
Yeah. The other thing that people, well, when you go through a GTU model, the sink is also something that people don't really understand either.
Yep.
Look, a lot of people wash stuff in buckets and stuff like that, but then if you can have a sink in your actual canopy, great.
Yep.
But that's where the water pump comes into play.
Yep.
No point in having a sink if you don't have pressurised water to be able to push that water through and wash the dishes.
Oh, definitely. So, and yes, storage, like as we spoke of before with the GTX model, you know, where there is that additional storage. Once you get into the GTU model, it's next level. Yeah. You know, our pull-out pantry, I know it's our design, and I own the company, but our GTU pull-out pantry is awesome. So there's one thing you'll stay tuned to, because there's a new wagon version of our GTU canopy coming out, which will be in another video very soon.
And I'll just add to that note, you cannot buy it separately.
Yeah. For the 4,000 people that tried to buy our kitchen separately, we do not sell it. But the pull-out pantry side of things, as you see behind us, it's killer. Yeah. You know, it's quick, it's easy, fast to set up, and it's got more storage than you probably stick at.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's what you want from something that has all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
And it's why it's called Grand Tour Ultimate.
Yeah, that's it. And little things like awkward things to store, like cutlery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we were sitting down with the design of the GTU, you've got to have a dedicated cutlery. Is one of them things that's just a nightmare. You know, and with our GTU kitchen, you've got the partitions. So when you get a GTU model and we do handover, we actually don't fit the partitions, do we?
No, we don't. We let the customer determine what they want to put in that drawer.
Yeah.
Like one thing, if I showed you my own cutlery drawer at home, we'll give you a snippet of what it looks like. Then you understand why we did it in this one.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess having that option, you know, depends what the customer wants to run. I know the ones we have set up for other customers that have asked, we run the 4 compartment divisions straight at the front with a big section at the back. So you can have knives, forks, spoons, and then tongs and egg flipper and everything at the back, you know.
All the other essentials.
That's it.
In a clear cutlery set.
So. And I guess once again, going back to that design cue, the GTU pantry is the same. We have tall storage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing to me, that's critical. You know, because there's that many things that you do take with you. And I'm sure if a lot of you guys go home, go and measure the height of a tomato sauce bottle. Because I did years ago, and I make sure that they fit. You know, other things that we take, I'm mad keen fisherman, so one of the best meals I can cook is panko crumb fish. Right? To do that, you've got to take a bottle of oil with you. You know, so to be able to store that somewhere, you've got to have an option for it.
You've got to have the room.
That's it.
Like, yeah, it's stored out, and that's the main purpose behind it. It's not just someone to bang the kitchen together.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, there's a spice rack there, there's, you know, we even have customers that go find a little coffee machine that actually fits in that compartment because that's where they want to have their coffee.
Yep.
Look, it has multiple uses, which is great.
Yep.
It's not just what we want, it's normally, everyone has different needs and wants,
Yep.
and that's what it's designed for. So, and you know, great part about it is when we get customers bring their cars back for other work, we see all the amendments that they do,
Yep.
and we're like, oh, that's where they hang their fishing rods,
Yep.
and that's where they put this,
And that's good, you know. But I guess the GTU, like the other two models, it comes with everything.
Yeah.
You know, there is some options that we do have for customers, but as a turnkey package, there is no reason why you can't grab that canopy, straight a handover. I guess earlier in the year we had a customer that we sent a vehicle over to New South Wales with COVID. We ended up diverting the truck to Melbourne because he was in Melbourne at the time, and they basically turned up with a bag of clothes each. They rang us and said we can't get home, so we threw in some cutlery and plates and bowls and everything out of the showroom so that they were ready to go. Now they spent what, 6 weeks travelling around, nearly 8 weeks I think, travelling around the Vico High Country with a brand new car. They'd never even seen it before. You know, they had a GTU model on a Ranger, it had absolutely everything, and I guess that's testament to the claim of a full turnkey build. They basically turned up with a bag of clothes each. We told them what size sheets they needed for their iCamper rooftop tent.
Yep.
They went to the bottle-o and they went and did groceries. 8 weeks they spent on the road. You know, so that side of it, I guess, is the true definition of full turnkey.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know, what are some of the upgrades of a GTU?
GTU. So one of the popular upgrades is the CD30 slide-out drawer fridge.
Yep.
That is one of the most popular.
Yep.
The other popular upgrade is, again, trundle drawer lid. Gives you more storage to put the barbie and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
As it's how the layout on a GTU, as you know, is different to a GTX.
Yep.
So the Weber and all the bigger items go on the other side.
Yep.
You got the drawers there. You can convert them to lockable drawers.
Yep.
Some customers do want locks on them.
Yep.
The other upgrades that can do the GTU is battery size, which is common, just because of the room that we have where we can put a bigger battery bank.
Yep.
Other than that, there's rooftop tent and
normal,
all those sort of
you know,
normal solutions.
rear tyre carrier, rear ladder, depending on which rooftop tent they've got, all that kind of stuff. I guess touching back on that CD30, the GTU comes with CRX 110.
Yes.
So there is plenty of fridge and freezer space.
Yeah.
But the CD30, I guess, look, I'm getting one fitted in my new canopy. It's a bit of a dedicated beer fridge, really.
Yeah.
You know, even if we are fishing and we catch plenty of fish, at least then we can drink the beers and fill it with fillets.
So you've got to go through quite a few to fill it.
Yeah, that's right. But the big thing, you know, we've had people comment on some of our YouTube videos and Instagram, you know, saying, where do you put everything? Now, I sat down, we had a GTU recently on a extra cab D-Max that we completed. I quickly sat down, we were around 1,300 litres of storage on the driver's side.
Yeah, that's
You know,
nice.
that's not including the CD30. So the GTU from standard comes with 3 drawers on the driver's side, on the false floor. With the CD30 in there, you basically lose one of the drawers and you still end up with a his and hers. Now, 1,200 litres of storage to put clothes, bedding.
As a comparison, that's pretty much an SUV size boot with nothing in it.
Yep.
As a comparison, by the time you fold the seats down,
Yep.
you've almost got around 1,300.
Yeah. And I guess it's hard sometimes, like if you're looking at a photo or
Yeah.
what, it's hard to gauge sometimes how big an area is, hence why we're doing shop talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Give you an up close view of it
Yeah.
and let you know what's in it. So if you've got any questions,
Yeah, put it in the comments and let us know. Look, I guess there's a few other key features the GTU comes with standard. We touched on hot water systems before for the GTX.
GTX comes standard in the GTU.
Standard with the GTU. Water pump, which is an option on the other 2 models, is standard on GTU. One of the other features with the GTU that's not in any of the others is the Topodegree water counter.
Yeah.
Tell us, how does that work, mate?
So the water counter is designed to count back from the water tank.
Yep.
So as you use your water and when you do go travelling, water is paramount. So you then got to keep an eye on how much you've got in that water tank.
Yep.
So as you use it, it counts down and lets you know when you start getting low.
Yep.
It does work really good on the GTU, and that's why we sort of had to have it in there. The other thing too is the upgrade that we came out with when we did the hot water system was the swing away bracket for the actual.
Now it's only for storage, isn't it? It's when you store the hot water system, it's got to go in the drawer or stored, and then you can pull it out of the drawer, sit it onto the swing out bracket, and swing it out. You can, you know, the GTU, I guess, water pump we touched on. One of the options that we do have to upgrade is our gas system in the under tray box. Now that goes on the driver's side at the rear. 2 kilo gas bottle. We have the gas fitters come through and fit the regulator in there. So the gas bottle's all mounted in a little bracket, custom made bracket in the box. Then there's a bayonet fitting, which is underneath the box, outside. So if you are going through and setting up your hot water system or your barbecue, open the under tray box, turn the gas bottle on, close it up, and you can plug your bayonet fitting from your hottie or your barbecue straight into it. Yeah, pretty cool little system, to be honest.
It is. Yeah, it's designed to be simple and easy. All the taps underneath the GTU are colour coded to make it easy for you to set up with the kitchen, the hot water, and for your barbie and all that sort of thing. So
make it easy. You want it so that, you know, if say your missus is in here doing handover and she doesn't know what's going on, and you're out fishing for the day or trekking around, and she wants to hook the kitchen up, 2 hoses, one's blue, one's red, stick the blue one on the blue tap, the red one on the red tap. Yeah, it's just to try and make it easy, that's all.
An old KISS principle.
Yeah, that's it, essentially. Some of the other features with the GTU, I think we've pretty well covered the majority of it. Now, upgrades for customers. So the GTU comes with a hell of a lot of gear as standard.
It does.
What are some of the, you know, we touched on the CD30, we've obviously got rear tyre carriers and rear ladders. What about electrical, mate?
Electrical, probably 2 things is inverter is a common ask. Now look, normally inverters are great, don't get me wrong, but they do suck the juice out of your battery system. So I normally say, look, if you're going to be running inverter, what are you doing for solar? And we'll touch on solar in a second. But with the upgrades, you can do an inverter upgrade, you can do an AC charger upgrade. Now what an AC charger upgrade is, and for people that don't understand, is for the guys that are going to, you know, caravan parks, or even when you're at home and you want to plug 240 in, grab your extension lead, plug it in. Now it's a weatherproof plug that goes underneath the back of the canopy. They pretty much pull out the clear cap, stick the extension cord in, and it was then provide charge to the batteries.
At 40 amps with the Enerdrive AC40 that we use. Like, we are going to go into a bit more in depth in another video about electrical systems, because we have so many customers that come through that want to run induction cookers off a 100 amp hour battery. It doesn't work that way. So we are going to do, with our Auto Spark, we're going to do a bit more of an in-depth video on electrical systems, just to go through and let customers know some of the facts, that's all, because there is limitations to electrical system. One thing we can touch on is our Enerdrive ePro Plus. Every canopy has one. Now, anything with 12 volt systems, information's power. It's critical. If you don't know anything about your system, you're going to get caught out. You know, and that's where the ePro Plus comes into it as a 600 amp, I think, shunt. So it'll actually log everything's going in and everything's coming out. It'll provide you with a percentage rating and how many amps you're drawing and how many hours till you're empty and everything like that. So one thing to remember, information's power with 12 volt systems. Some of the other upgrades.
Other upgrades now, roof baskets, not really compatible with a GTU, only because you've got that drawer system on the upside for storage, so that the basket physically can't swing down enough to be able to place some things in there. Other upgrades, just trying to think.
Rooftop tents.
Yeah, rooftop tents.
Rooftop tents are very common around here, especially on GTU. You know, customers going a full liverboard system. Pretty much any rooftop tent we can do solar packages for. This one behind us has actually got how many?
540 watts of Enerdrive solar
on the roof.
So what we did was we joined 380 watt panels and linked them all in. So yeah, 540 watts of solar. On a good sunny day, should give you roughly about 30 amps per hour back into your battery bank. So almost equivalent to starting your car for an hour.
Yep. It's perfect. Like, at the end of the day, it's quiet, silent, and it's forever charging. That's all. So for anybody who's looking at running induction systems and inverters for coffee machines and a couple of fridges and everything like that, solar is critical. You know, and I guess that's one thing the sales boys go through, make sure that the customer gets the right outcome and the right canopy for what they're planning on doing.
Yeah. The other thing too is a lot of people think or forget about how they're going to charge their battery. So if they're not running a solar blanket or they're not running dedicated solar, other than starting the vehicle, another upgrade that they can do is have an answer plug that we give them so they can actually charge from a 240 charger.
Remotely.
Yeah, remotely. You know, plug it into a power point and, you know, plug the Anderson plug in and it'll just top up your battery and keep it on the flow.
So. And I guess what's, touching back, I know I'm not in sales anymore. You've always copped a bit of a flogging in there and you let a lot of people come through. So what's the number one thing that customers will say when they either see one in person or they come through and have a look, or you get the 2-hour round tour with Angelo on the sales pitch for a canopy? What's the number one thing they'll say?
Am I allowed to swear? No, look, honestly, they're just taken back. Look, when I give customers a rundown, I'll give them the full experience as I do to any customer that comes in. And I think they're just blown away about the quality of our gear, the finishing touches and the level of effort that we go to, and in terms of perfection and what it looks like.
It's almost a requirement to have OCD to work around here.
Yeah, really. Pretty much.
That's like, we've had other people that have worked in dealerships and everything like that for 20 odd years, and some of the things that our workshop manager Brent will pull them up on, they've never been pulled up before in their life. So, but at the end of the day, if you're selling a premium product, it needs to be a premium product. That's correct. So I guess a lot of the customers, even when I was in sales, they'd walk in, one of the main things that I used to get was it looks better in person than it does online. They've watched our YouTube videos, they've looked at Instagram, our recent builds on our website, everything like that. A customer will walk in and say, wow, they look better in person than they do online, and typically I guess that's not overly common. Do you know what I mean? Normally things are, good from far, far from good. It's one of them things when customers are saying, yeah, it looks better in person. Well, it's a bit of a testament, that's all.
The good thing is that we have display models too, so they can come and have a look. The good thing too is as customers' cars are getting built and they're doing different things, we can highlight to them and show them those upgrades, which is good that they can see it in person. The fact that I guess our canopies don't look very tradie based, no offence. It's just the finish. Like, we get a lot of customers that come in that want us to do internal fit outs to their canopies. And as we tell them, it's never going to look like our canopy, just on the way that the aluminium guys make theirs. So
it's a manufactured product. There's always infrastructure that you put in. Do you know what I mean? To allow for things like cables and
high level wiring, and let's make it look neat.
So look, that's a quick rundown. There is other GTX, GTU videos on YouTube, plus our recent builds and all that kind of stuff. That's a bit of a defined grouping, I guess, on what the 3 models are designed for. Other than that, guys, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the bell notification below to subscribe and stay in tune with the latest builds and videos coming out of Core Offroad. Have a good weekend.